see the guitar there, can you? I'm going to move the old guitar this way because people are always asking me they want to see my guitar. There we go. There's the beauty there. So, topic of this evening, ladies and gents, is an interesting one, which is China is alive and kicking. So, there's a lot happening at the moment, which I'm really happy to see. A lot of developments, a lot of great things are happening in China right now. And let me be blunt. If you still think China is closed, slowing down, too difficult, local competition, all the usual nonsense I hear, we're being undercut in price, you're already behind on China. Because right now, sitting here in Shanghai, where I'm based, I'm seeing something very different. Actually, last year was a little bit challenging, I'd say. It was a real hustle. I did get but I really had to get out there. I had to get out to lots of expos, which I'm quite... I had to do a lot of content online. But I'm seeing really positive changes in China. China is open for business right now. Foreign industry. I'll give you a really basic example. TND this morning. I went to a gym class this morning, but it was business people are back as well, which is really interesting. So I've been going to these expos in China, these big exhibitions with lots more international companies I've seen than ever before. I've seen American and Israeli companies, of all companies you wouldn't have thought exhibiting. So these events are busy again. There's lots of activity. There's lots of stuff happening here in China. Every country apart from the Americans, I think, have got pretty much every country around the world has got visa free. So you can just come to China for 30 days now. So if you really want to understand China, come to China. I've lived here for over 10 years now, and I feel like things are popping right now. Lots of things happening, concerts, culture. And lots of people ask me, why do I live in China? I think it comes down to happiness. I'm really happy here, and optimism. I think most importantly, there's optimism when I live here. There's optimism on the ground living here. It's safe. No one's stealing my phone or wallet here, right? No one's got a knife and they're going, "Oi, give me your phone." That's not happening here. Unlike London. I hear a lot of my friends. I've had incidents in London, people trying to, do stuff. And I just feel very lucky being here that none of that's going to happen here. I feel safe. I feel like, and I've seen recently, there's a lot of foreign tourists are talking about, these 24/7 spas in China. They look so amazing. It's like, yeah, I go to those every now and again. I have a massage every now and again. It's all cheap. It's convenient. So I think we're really lucky. If you're living in China right now, whether you're Chinese, foreign, I think we're very lucky to. It's a good time to be here. I mean, my business pretty much since January has just gone because, thank you, Keir Starmer. It's one of the only good things he's ever done, having that meeting. And the conflict in Iran has pushed a lot of business my way because China's seen as the safer option. If you were going to put a bet on doing business with the Middle East or business with China right now, I think you're going to be all in on China all day long. And I'm seeing this on the ground here in Shanghai at the moment, in particular. And today I really want to break down exactly what I'm seeing, why this matters to anyone watching this right now, and where the real opportunities lie. Because this is not just for foreign companies. This is also, foreign companies coming in. This is also for Chinese companies going out. Why is there a mute on your channel? Is that true? Someone said there's a mute on my... Can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, just write a number 1, maybe, in the live stream. Just put 1 if you can hear me. I should really get sponsored by this soda water company. I love soda. So the Xiaohong Shul lot, you can hear me. Thank you, guys. Beautiful Xiaohong Shul fans. Thank you for, you can hear me. Okay, the WeChat fans, you can hear me. It's no wonderful. YouTube, as usual, YouTube's quiet. TikTok is quiet, but Xiaohong Shul, 微信视频的粉丝，我爱你们。So, yeah, as I mentioned, I really want to talk about foreign companies coming in or foreign companies that have already been here. I spoke to another person today that's like, oh, Daniel, you only help companies entering China. No, I don't. I help companies that have been here for 10, 20, 30 years plus. So give me 2 seconds, guys. So the WeChat guys, you should be able to hear me now. So yeah, I help companies enter. Also, Southeast Asia is another option now. So I've had a few Chinese companies and international companies saying, yeah, Dan, I know you cover China, but can you do Southeast Asia? Can you do Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam? Yes, I do have partners out there now that do everything. They do marketing, they do distribution, any industry. But I mainly focus on B2B industries, so B2B companies that are entering or already in China. And these are international companies. I don't usually work with Chinese companies, and I'll tell you why. Chinese companies that need marketing support in China, because usually they have a team. They're usually going to do it a lot cheaper, not necessarily more effectively than me, but yeah, I don't really work with. I've not really had Chinese companies. The only time I've had Chinese companies work with me is if they want to do videos like Herds or Shiping. They want to do videos on my channel, which is something I can do. So I want to talk firstly about what I'm seeing on the ground and make it as real as possible for you guys. As I mentioned, I'm seeing a lot more foreign tourists here, which is really good. I want to start with the reality, not the headlines, not what the news or BBC is talking about, because they always get it wrong. What I'm seeing life here in China right now, in Shanghai in particular, obviously international city. I can't talk about other bases in China. I can't talk about other cities really, although I have spoken to friends in Beijing and Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Chengdu, Chongqing, all over China. Cafes, restaurants, they're busy again. Shopping is very popping. If you go down to Waitan right now, you'll see a lot more foreigners down there, a lot more generally tourist Chinese as well. I'm hearing a lot more English around. Usually I'm used to hearing Shanghainese, Shanghai-hua or Putonghua Chinese, but I'm just generally hearing a lot more English and other languages being spoken from all over the world, which is always a good sign. I mean, you know me, I'm very observational on the ground. I speak to strangers. I like to, listen in on conversations. Hotels are filling up again, like never before. Particularly in Shanghai, I'd say from the Asian countries, you're seeing a lot more Koreans here in Shanghai. Obviously, they spend lots of money. I'm seeing a lot more vloggers around Shanghai as well. These guys and girls that are filming life in Shanghai, which I've been doing for over 6 years now. So do follow me, guys. Like, subscribe. Dianzan, Zhuangfa, Pinglun, Guangzhou. And particularly for my business, where I do marketing, PR, and expo support, exhibition support, exhibitions are picking up serious footfall here in China. Last week, and it's just ended today, I went to CMEF, which is the China Medical Equipment Fair, and I saw a huge smorgasbord of international companies. And the difference compared to, say, 12 months ago is night and day. You're seeing a huge influx of companies from Europe, America, particularly even, I mentioned Israel, but companies you wouldn't expect to be there. Loads of American companies. I think last year, there was probably about 6 American companies. I think this year I saw at least 15 or more. And that doesn't necessarily mean their strategy is better. Even though there's more companies, I'm still seeing the same mistakes. By the way, guys, if you have a booth at a exhibition in China, if you only have English on the booth, that is the stupidest move you could make. I try and say it as nice as I can to companies, and I try and put as nicer content online about don't have English on your booth. You can have English and Chinese, that's fine. But the best way to explain it, it does not make you more international as a company to have English on your booth. Nobody walks past and thinks, oh, they've got English on the booth. That must mean that they're more international. Nobody thinks like that. All they're interested in is what can you deliver? What's the best price? Can you deliver what I want? So these exhibitions in China, when you see everyone with English behind them, that just English writing and English brochures, that doesn't make it that's lazy marketing. The best way to describe it is, I was explaining this to an American company the other day, which is they had everything in English behind them. And I said to them, well, and when I went over them, of course, they were very arrogant as usual. Oh, our team did it back in HQ, and it shows we're more international. Well, apart from the massive American flag above you, yeah, of course, people don't know you're international. It's my British sarcasm there, my British wit. But the main point I'm trying to make is by, if a Chinese company went to London or Birmingham, or in America, they went to Vegas or New York or LA, would you expect to have all of their booth in Chinese to appear more international? It makes no sense. So localization is the most important thing. But what I'm talking about here, it isn't theory. It's actually what I'm seeing happening on the ground. Not many people like me are running around these expos or running around China, being very observational, seeing what's actually happening on the ground here. And these are key points that a lot of people miss. So it's not just tourists, by the way, coming to China. They're serious business people. It's decision makers. It's people that hold the purse. They've got money they're going to spend, right? So that's something else to note that I'm seeing. But yeah, every expo that I'm going to here in China that I run around and my feet bleed over in my nice British shoes that I bought from Northampton, my nice Kingsman shoes. This is what I'm seeing observationally on the ground here in China. Now, the big question is, why is this happening? I want to give some insight, not some obvious stuff. Why? I think there's some big reasons behind this shift. One, you could say the convenience is back. So it's a lot easier if you're a foreigner coming to China to download WeChat Pay, download Alipay. You can jump off that plane at Pudong or Hongqiao airport, and it's so convenient. You're not kind of lost as a tourist. I'm seeing these videos online where they have these volunteers at the airport. Bloody hell, I wish we had that in London. In London, even as a Brit, when I arrive at an airport in London, people are not like, "Well, you're back." They're just like, it's kind of that, not a hello. It's just like a, oh, you. That's But in China, I've noticed that when you go through the airport, particularly in Pudong and Hongqiao, they're genuinely nice. So you've had a long flight, and people are just like, "Hi, welcome." It's kind of the way it should be. Plus, there's these volunteers that will help you with the trains, or that when you get off that plane and you get in that taxi at Pudong or Hongqiao to wherever you're going, hotel, you're not going to get scammed. Like, the taxi drivers are honest and genuine here. So, obviously in an international city, but travel is becoming smoother. China's becoming more accessible again. It's seen as the safer option, I would argue. And that changes everything, because the safer the option of country to do business, the more people want to do business. It makes sense. I'm trying to, what kind of business I've explained this many times, like what kind of business I do. People always ask me, but the main businesses I'm seeing is mainly B2B. So I'm seeing a lot of your life sciences and your medical kind of businesses, your medical equipment, any kind of manufacturing. Think of anything that's in your room right now, whether it's a piping, what's that pipe there? anything that's been manufactured in a factory, people are buying. Okay, so that's, just think about that. B2C is something I stay away from. I don't really do B2C. I think that's a really tough market right now. So the other point I want to make is the cost advantage. So right now, compared to the West, I've just got off the phone with my father actually, and he's saying that like in England, the UK, the cost of living is going up, but the salaries are staying there. So that's just going to create huge inequality, austerity. Austerity means like downward spiral in economies and life. So I'm just going to see a lot of issues in the West now, whereas China, things are back, like things are raring. There's renewed optimism, there's positivity, and China, apart from buying a property, although I've heard right now it's a good time. I'm seeing a lot of my property agent friends are saying that people are buying properties again in Shanghai. China is still cheap. I've just done a post across all my social medias about vegan food. I said vegetarian, vegan food. So whether you use LinkedIn or Weixin Shiping or TikTok or Xiaohongshu or YouTube, I've just posted something about vegan food. Now those dishes that I paid for today, 130 RMB. 130 RMB, which could have fed 3 or 4 people. In the center of Shanghai. That place is like right near Xintiandi. It's a Buddhist temple actually. And just dirt cheap. And the food was amazing. If that had been London, it'd be 130 RMB or 15 pounds, let's say roughly. 15 pounds for one dish. So China is just, they've got it right? They've got, people always say to me, "Oh, have you ever considered going back to the UK?" Why? The life here is fantastic. And for a lot of businesses and tourists, that's a huge pull. Because if life is better, why would you want to go to the Middle East right now, particularly Dubai, where, as much as my friends, I feel for them in there. I've got to be honest with you, like a lot of my Dubai friends have been quite arrogant the last few years, saying, "Well, Daniel, why don't you come to Dubai? And why don't you come and set up here?" God, thank God I didn't. Right? Your life is at risk there. Right? But here, it's safe. People are friendly. Chinese people, I never feel racism here. I feel like, like almost like a thankful feeling, like, well, thank God you're here, almost like so I feel very lucky. And I think the tourists probably feel that as well when they're here. Like Chinese people have that curiosity. They have that, like you're interested. Yeah, so I feel lucky. And I think the tourists and if you're a business, you need to jump on this right now with China. So that's one thing. Another point I want to make is curiosity and FOMO. So FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMO. People stayed away for years away from China. I think obviously because of that special period, which we never mentioned, which I went through and was a horrible period. But now they're thinking, have we missed something? A few of my friends, as I mentioned, in Dubai, or ones that went to Singapore or Southeast Asia, or the really dodgy ones that went to Colombia and other places, they're missing out right now because China's popping. China's alive. There's shows, there's music, there's great food, there's a way of life that we're all aspiring to. I found out the other day that Shanghai's actually got a beach. I was like, I thought Shanghai didn't have beaches, but yeah, there's beaches here apparently, which I want to check out. I'm still discovering stuff every day. It's a country full of possibilities and adventure. That's what I'd say about China. Cambodia, safe. I don't know about Cambodia, by the way. And I know a lot of foreigners and Chinese went to Bali and places like that. I didn't connect with Bali. I didn't feel that moment of enlightenment when I was there. I can't judge it too much because I was there for only a week, and it was nice. But I was thinking the traffic here, just couldn't deal with that. At least in Shanghai, like the traffic kind of, it's always moving, and that's what I speak to taxi drivers in Shanghai about, traffic and that, and it moves. In London it's just like, but here kind of you do. You're not really, when people say to me, "War dual I was in traffic." I'm like, no, you weren't. Like Shanghai traffic, you're never in a standstill in Shanghai traffic. Like it's always moving. So I don't take that as an excuse, by the way. If anyone's ever late, the traffic was bad. Leave earlier, wake up earlier. I wake up at 5:30 every day, even at the weekends. So I think, yeah, the Keir Starmer meet was a big factor. I think why more British and other European nations, like I know the Canadian leader came here. I've heard Trump's coming here soon, and but generally, all these European leaders started coming to China, and I think that opened up things. So more tourists were coming back, and businesses were coming back. But why would you want to do business with the US right now? If you know what I mean, like as in, I had a few companies last year. They're like, "Oh, we're more focused on." Like these are foreign companies. They said we're more focused on the Middle East or doing business with America. Why would you not be all in on China? I don't understand that. Like China's embracing, Chinese buyers want to buy from you. They're yearning, they're gunning for whatever product or service you're selling. So if I was an entrepreneur or a businessman in the West right now, I would be all in on China. So yes, I am British. Can you not tell from his fabulous accent? So I think that's a one thing. Yeah, the war, the conflicts. I think you wouldn't want to be doing business in places where there's conflicts right now, right? Where there's a chance of death. Unfortunately, you want to be somewhere where there's safety, where you're not going to have your phone stolen, where you feel safe. I will say this about Chinese police as well. Like they're always nice to me. When I say good morning, things like that, I say, I see them around. They're always nice to me. They're always like, I say "Zao Shan Hao," they say "Zao Shan Hao." If I say good morning to a policeman in England, God. Anyway, so yeah, and Baoan. I like that's the great thing about China is I always respect the Baoan. The Baoan, the security guards in China are just they're just nice, right? They smile. They look after you. They look after communities. I think that's really important. Never, if you guys are living in a Xiaochu or a building right now and you have a Baoan, give him some love. Give him a hongbao. Give him something. Show you, because they sit there. I know it looks like they're not doing anything, but actually they're the real security in China. So love your Baoan. If you haven't said to your Baoan, your security guard, "I love you" today, go and say it. Give him. I wouldn't say give him a hug, but put your arm around him. "Hey, Baoan." But I always, I show appreciation. Or just have a conversation with them. Give them some love because they have to deal with cars coming out of these, or YMI guys coming in and out, these delivery guys. So give them some love. I want to talk about a big misconception, and this is a crucial part of the live stream right now. So don't tune out. This is a big part of the live stream, guys. And if you haven't given this a like or you haven't subscribed, make sure you do right now. Which is, the biggest mistake I see right now is people think if China opens, then business just happens. Right? It's just like, oh, we'll just turn up to an event or just turn up to an exhibition. We'll just have our booth and loads of business is going to fly in. It doesn't work like that in China. You still got to put in the effort. You still got to have really good strategy. if you don't understand the ecosystem here in China, how it works, and you have proper partners, and maybe you've been working with partners for the last 5, 10 plus years in China, and you think it's all okay, it might not be. Because you will fail if you don't have the right strategy here in China. You still need that local presence, Chinese platforms, and I'm particularly B2B, I'm talking Chinese websites, Baidu, Bing, SEO, Geo, AI, WeChat official account, WeChat video, webinars. You need to be localizing in the Chinese market because the Chinese companies have already done this. And if you're an international company, if you're not doing this, it's just going to, your trust and credibility goes out the window. And I've seen this a lot at exhibitions the last few days, is international companies, they're pretty clueless. And I'm not saying that as like to put them down. I'm just saying that I'm banging on about this all day long. If anyone ever sees my Pengyou Chuan or my LinkedIn or the content that I do about China, I give everybody the answers, right? I'm always talking about what they need to do. We're not talking about the funny Baidahan character. I have another persona, which is more the guy this is the real Baidahan. This is Daniel. The one you see in those funny little videos, that's me acting, guys. I think a lot of people think I am actually like that. But if you don't have this localized presence, if you don't have the basics, which is WeChat, or WeChat official account, Weixin Gongdonghao, if you don't have Chinese facing presence, Chinese staff that are really good, loyal, commercially minded, have the connections that deliver on the work, you're invisible in China. And China hasn't become Western. You still need to adapt. You need to really localize what you're doing. I always say China is another beast. It's a different beast. It's like another planet. And you need to really understand what you're doing here. Otherwise, as I've seen the last few days at these expos and other expos I've been to in the last few years, it's baffling how companies will spend thousands, international companies will spend tens of thousands of pounds or hundreds of thousands of renminbi to fly all the way to China, have an exhibition or do business here, and just completely get it wrong. So localization is so important. Connecting with Chinese buyers, connecting with Chinese people. Okay. It's the most important thing that people miss. And everybody thinks that when you do business in China, your first thing you need to do is set up an office, get a salesperson, distributor. No, no, no. The first thing you need to do when you do business anywhere in the world, not just in China, is marketing. You need to work out whether there's a demand for what you're selling, if it's a product or product or service. If there's no demand, why are you here? And if you don't do marketing, your marketing is the first thing that you do. Marketing, 市场营销. So that is the number one, the first thing that you do, and you need to have budget for that. So where are the opportunities right now for foreign companies coming in, or foreign companies that have already been here for many years, for decades? The massive opportunities right now, and this is where it gets interesting, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it gets very interesting, is healthcare, medical, food and beverage, if it's B2B, not B2C stuff, education, university, student accommodation is a big one, manufacturing, tech. These are the industries where the money is flowing from the West into China, and I'd say China to the West. It's not B2C, unfortunately, guys, unless a company has an incredible budget and they're willing to try and test stuff. For a B2C project right now to really get off the ground, and by the way, just relying on distribution deals doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. In any market around the world, whether you're a Chinese company going abroad or a Western company coming into China, pure distribution models, I think they work less than 2% of the time. So I'd rather go with the 98%. kind of strategy, right? Which is marketing. You market the hell out of whatever you're selling. You let people know about you. Particularly if you're B2B, you have case studies, you have white papers, you advertise in industry specific news. But here's the catch. It's not about entering China anymore. It's about entering China or growing your business in China if you're already here properly. Let me repeat that. It's about entering China, or if you're already in China for some time, properly, which I'm still seeing companies missing the mark. And what does that mean? That means localized marketing, nothing else. You need to make it very, very clear. Marketing, Chinese language assets. What I talk about that is materials and people. Chinese people that are really well networked, speak your language, they have to speak some English, that commercially get you what makes them tick, what makes them get out there, and they can deliver. So it's digital credibility and it's people credibility. Can they back up what they say? As Alex Hormozi would say, do you have irrefutable proof that you can deliver on what you say? If you show up in China as a foreign company or a Chinese company going abroad with just a website and some PDFs and a few brochures on your booth at an expo or an exhibition, you're done. You might as well just fly home. Give me the money because you're burning it anyway. So for foreign companies in particular, I'm seeing just this arrogance with some of them that, oh, we don't need this in China. No, we don't need this. Yes, you bloody well do. Because the kind of stuff that I'm seeing here in China it's shocking. It's like, why did you turn up? I'm seeing foreigners and Chinese, to be fair, going to expos for 3 or 4 days, sat down for 3 or 4 days, not even standing up, on their laptops and on their phones, not caring about the people coming to their booths. It's disgraceful. It's despicable. Because if those bosses back home knew what their staff were doing, there'd be a nuclear bomb. So I think it's so important that the old school way of doing business, I know there's AI and all this stuff, but the old school way of just being nice and humble and door-to-door salespeople kind of method of, I'm not saying go and knock on people's doors, but if you're at an expo, you need to be in front of the booth. You need to be welcoming. Hello, sir. Hello, madam. How can I help you? That kind of, not just sat behind your booth on your phone. It's not only rude, but you're missing money. You're missing opportunities. So this is the big thing that I'm seeing with foreign companies. Not all of them. I'm meeting some lovely people as well, and we're having great conversations. I want to talk about the opportunities for Chinese companies going out, which will be relevant for kind of both sides. This is the other side people are massively underestimating right now, which is Chinese companies going global fast, and it's fact. But what Chinese companies are struggling with right now is branding, trying to do everything themselves, a bit like foreign companies coming here, positioning, Western marketing. So it's exactly the same. Foreign companies coming to China already here, they're missing that localization, trust overseas. Because some Chinese companies do have a reputation, good and bad, and the good ones will do well. So this is where the opportunity flips. If you understand both sides, whether you're a foreign company entering or you're already in China, or a Chinese company going overseas, having that kind of commercial Chinese and international mindset is how you're going to differentiate yourselves from competitors and how you're going to win in any market. You'll be sitting in a very powerful position. So really take that on board, whether you're an individual watching this or you're a company, whatever level you're at, if you're a BD manager or and HR, anything. Like I'm using this like hello down here, but actually, whatever position you're in a company, you are a very important cog in the wheel of any organization. Right? It doesn't matter your title, which most titles don't mean anything anyway. It's really about how you are going to differentiate yourself and deliver utilizing AI and getting out there and promoting yourself. Now, what happens next? My view, this is just the beginning of a wave. This is going to grow even more in China. And the sooner you get here, or the quicker Chinese companies get out as well, we're going to be seeing more international collaboration, more joint ventures, more cross-border business, but also more competition. And you've got to get ready for that. So the window is open now, but it won't stay easy forever. It's what I was banging on about last year. All year, I just did content about come to China, come to China, come to China, but I still had people kind of hesitant on the fence. You can't do business on the fence. As a good friend of mine in the gym earlier told me, the reason why Chinese companies do so well is because they're agile, right? They move on opportunities. And as a foreign company, you've got to have that kind of mindset as well. You can't be conservative. Oh, Q3 this year. Whenever I hear a company say Q3, I just think Q stupid. That's what I hear. That's a nice quote. If you're thinking Q3, you're actually Q stupid. And I know there's always budgets and stuff involved, but find the budget, find where there's wastage in your company and get rid of the wastage. Get rid of the people that are not bringing you value. So the real question, are you watching China from the outside, or are you actually positioning yourself inside it? Or if you're a Chinese company, are you just kind of testing the waters and not really partnering with foreigners and thinking, well, we can do all this ourselves and on the cheap? No, you need to be partnering. You need to be finding the experts. I don't class myself as an expert, by the way. I just can class myself as someone that can deliver and has the experience. Because from what I'm seeing on the ground here in China, in Shanghai, China isn't slowing down. It's resetting and moving again. So if you're looking at China, thinking about entering or already here, but you're not quite getting the results, drop me a message, drop me a line. I'm always open for a chat. I don't do freebies too much, but I do like to jump on calls with people if you've really, got an opportunity. Make sure it's very qualified as well, guys. I get people messaging me all the time. So give me a proper brief. Say, this is who we are. This is what we're looking for. These are our KPIs. These are our requirements. This is our plans. This is what our expectations are in the next 12 months. This is our budget. Give me a range. Daniel, it's 10, it's 20, it's 30,000 pounds. We're not talking renminbi here. We're talking pounds. Is it 100, 200, 300,000 renminbi? Because they're the kind of numbers that I can potentially work with. And I'm always happy to give some insight to people. So guys, I've left a bit of time. I've left 5-10 minutes. I know there's been barrage of questions coming in. If anybody's got any more questions, I'm more than happy to help. But just to be clear, my business, a lot of people get confused. They think I'm an English teacher. I'm not an English teacher. They think I'm a pure influencer. Yeah, I do influencing. I do Boju, Wang Hong, content creation. It's like 5% of what I do. My main bulk of my business is helping international companies in China entering, or they're already in China, mainly with their marketing, PR, and expos. That's what I do here in China. And recently I've been getting more Chinese companies wanting to go overseas, plus companies looking at Southeast Asia, international and Chinese companies. So guys, fire away. If anyone's got any questions, at the moment, we have over 200 people in here, which is fantastic. And thank you so much for your support. Do I like Oasis? Yes, I do. Sorry, completely off topic, Richard. But yeah, that was a bit of a shame. I didn't get a chance to. I would love to have seen Oasis last year, and I just didn't hustle enough. I think you really needed to hustle to get those tickets. There were Oasis tickets. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen Oasis. So if anyone's has got a link, because I'm a huge Oasis fan, and I do like. Speaking of Oasis, where's my pick? All your dreams are made. Today was gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. There we go. So I do know a bit of Oasis. Where's my capo? I haven't got my capo on me, but yeah, where's that gone? Oh, capo. Haha. Sorry, when you said Oasis, everyone wants to just hear me speak in English, but actually it's hold on. Tonight, I'm a rock and roll star. Anyway, enough Oasis. Sorry, guys, I always get distracted with these questions, but yeah, I do like a bit of Oasis. I've really got into Fleetwood Mac again recently. Sino-American British band, but yes, I do live in Shanghai. So, guys, I'm going to cut this in a few minutes. If anyone's got any more questions, yeah, proper northern bands. I do like them. I like that Manchester scene. You know, the Smiths, Happy Mondays, Stone Roses, Oasis. Fantastic. And Liverpool, of course. You can't beat the Beatles. I think it's been a good live stream today, guys. Really happy to see China just thriving, because I built my life here and it's good to see. If anyone knows this company as well, I do like a bit of School Dashway. I like a bit of soda water. And guys, do check out my new video. I've just posted a new video. Oh yeah, so I've already answered this question apart from being an influencer. 5% of what I do is like being an influencer, you know, partnership deals and making content. The bulk of my business is helping international companies in China, whether they're entering already here, doing all of their marketing, PR, expos in China. Despite the fact I bang on about it every day about what I do, I still get people saying, "What do you do?" Yes, I did go to CMEF. I was there. The China Medical Equipment Fair, which was a fantastic event. I really like that one. There's some really lovely people there, and I meet some fantastic companies. The British companies really let me down this year. I think it's a real shame, because there's so many medical equipment companies from the UK, but they just don't show up properly. So I'm always surprised. There's a huge opportunity right now. There should have been 20, 25 companies, but I think there was 4 or 5, and not good. Anyway, guys, any final questions? Because I'm going to cut this very soon. My hairstyle's cool though. Thanks. I'm thinking about growing my hair out rather than it being so short. So this will get longer soon, by the way. I like how we've gone from me talking about business to just pure lifestyle. Oh, it's bad again as well. It's 8 o'clock at night. I've still got to play my guitar and I've got to practice a bit. I'm learning a few little Fleetwood Mac solos at the moment. Like, I want to learn the You Can Go Your Own Way. The Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way. Anyway, guys, do check out my new 我刚刚我发布新的视频 as a 素菜的 vegan 餐厅 really great little video I've just posted. 如果你感兴趣加入我的粉丝群，在小红书或者微信粉丝群，你可以私信我，然后会发给你二维码。So I do have my own WeChat and 小红书 groups. If anyone would like to join them, you're more than welcome to. You just need to message me directly, and then I can send you the little code, the 二维码, and you're more than welcome to join. But thank you so much for the lovely support, guys. I had a bit of time away because I had to go to this CMEF event, this China Medical Equipment event. This one, Shanghai CMEF, which was a great event. Although that expo center is so big, I always feel like I've done a leg workout after that one. Cool, guys. I think we're going to cut that there. Thank you so much for the lovely support. You guys rock, are amazing. And I really appreciate the wonderful support. Go and check out my new video. 你可以看一看我的新的视频。And 别一二三滑走。I see a lot of people when they watch my videos, they go 1, 2, 3, swipe. 1, 2, 3, swipe. You're wasting your time. You're wasting my time by doing that, and it's not good for the algorithm. It's me live streaming at CMEF. Yeah, it would be interesting for other people, but it's not going to get me business. So, yeah, I don't have the time. I'm more of a, when I go to these expos in China, I'm more of a, I like to speak to people. I like to find out what's going on business wise, and I'll take it from there. So, right, guys, I'm going to cut it now. If you'd like to join my groups, you're more than welcome to. Thank you so much for the support. More content coming soon. And I've already told you guys how to join the fan groups. Go and watch this live stream again. There's me playing guitar, singing, giving you business advice, life advice. There's so much in this live stream. Probably the #1 live stream in the world. So go and check it out. And come to China. That's my best advice. Do some traveling. Anyway, love you all. Take care. Sleep well. And make the most of it. We have one life, one chance. So make the most of it. Take care, guys. 再见. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. 再见.